Guys, please introduce yourself, explain where you're working, what's going on.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Good, good. So my name is Andreas. I'm one of the co-founders of Fileverse. We're a trustless collaboration app and stack. So we're trying to show you that Notion, Google Docs, Google Sheets, all the suite of tools that everybody uses every day are kind of shit. You have almost no privacy with those tools. Your data is sold to a bunch of data brokers you have no idea even exist. You don't have the right to exit. You can't port your data to a different app, etc. So we created an alternative to that. We use Arweave for some of the data storage on that app, and it's currently in allow-list mode, but if you want to try it out, I've got floppy disks for you. Come see me afterwards.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm currently leading the Arweave SCP Ventures. So Arweave SCP Ventures is started by the Alprog. So Alprog is the founder of the Arweave. So for Arweave, we have PermaSwap, which is we position ourselves as the unit swap built on the Arweave ecosystem. Also, we have Arweave. So Arweave, the DID for the Arweave ecosystem. And besides that, we also have PermaDAO. PermaDAO is the largest DAO community based in Asia. So I lead the Arweave SCP Ventures side. For the venture, we focus on any interesting project that are willing to adopt our storage.
Cool. Yeah, I'm filling in for Patrick, that amazing man up there. But I'm a creative director at Forward. My name is Zhao, or Jeff, you can call me. Yeah, I'm just happy to contribute today.
Yeah, no, again, stepping up big time, so appreciate you. To kick this off, community is one of the biggest buzzwords in the Web3 space at large. What delineates a community member in your eyes?
I think there are layers to community members. First, I'll start with a quick remark, which is try not to bastardize the word community. I really see so many projects, protocols, use community left and right, pretending that they are my community. Those guys are not my community. It's very Web2 to do it in such a way that really monopolizes people as if they were assets. So that's the first disappointing part of the answer. The other is layers to community. I think for me, at least for Fileverse, the first layer, the core community, I would say, is people that think that our tech solves problems that they have. This is the core community members I think about when I think of community. Then you have other layers that are, for example, people that just absolutely love the brand, for example. They're always out there on social media trying to push you forward because they understand the idea, they understand the mission, and they want to be part of it, and they want to spread it around. So I would say those are two key members.
In my perspective, there are two kinds of community. The first one, the trader community, and second one, the builder community. For the trader community side, we know the average token price rises these days, and many of my friends ask me, why token rise? They show interest on the trader on the AR tokens. Besides that, I just have two cases to present how we do the community based in Asia. I think in December last year, we have Bitcoin inscription, FOMO, and during that time, we launched the AR inscription, ARIS. And during December last year, in one day, we have more than 1 million transactions, and we burn around 7,000 AR tokens in one day. And also, I think on December last year, we have the airdrop event for one of our partners called Foreverland. And also we have a spike during the transaction time. So besides the trader community, we also have a builder community. Builder community is what I like. So we have PermaDAO based in Asia. They have different guilds, like event guild, like the burning guild, like developer guild, and like the DAO guild. So basically, we have more than 500 community members in total, and our monthly activity might be more than 100. So in our PermaDAO guild, our community members translate AR articles from English to Chinese and give comments. So I think this is a great word. And also for PermaDAO, we also gave the grants, they gave a reward AR tokens to our community members. From our perspective, trader community and also the builder community are both important for us.
Yeah, it's interesting because Arweave is the big umbrella that is covering all of the people that are interested into Arweave, and there's just all these little different pockets, like you were saying, like PermaDAO and Even just globally, there's a Chinese and Indian, like Arweave India, and there's Arweave Africa. It's really like a global thing. And everyone has like their own opinions on what you should build and how much decentralization you should have and etc. But it's cool we all kind of fall under the same umbrella. There's just like thousands of discords that are different. Like Community Labs has Discord, PermaWeb, there's Arweave Discord. But that's the beauty of decentralization. Yeah.
If a community member is anybody involved with Arweave, the number reaches an absurd scale. Arweave has got to be the largest art gallery in human history, which is insane to think about for me. Arweave is certainly more of a utility than it is a casino, for sure. Fileverse, I know, just integrated Arweave into their stack a little bit. How is your community taking to that a little bit, and you want to get into that some?
So it's interesting because it has been probably one of the main lines of feedback that we've been getting since we created Fileverse. So just some quick background. We started on Gitcoin. I think this also speaks to the community aspect to it. We wanted to start bottoms up. We wanted to see if people even wanted to have any type of dApp that replace tools that already work super well for them, but that have different types of values. We got a lot of feedback immediately because a lot of people were donating, a lot of people were trying to see which direction we were going. And one of the most standard responses we were getting or feedback we were getting is we want to have permanent storage. The idea that you can pay for 200 years for your files to stay up and be retrievable for your grandkids and others is really incredible, and it is something that has always been there. So it was something that we delayed, not because we were lacking confirmation, but just because it was a big step forwards for us to take. And now that we integrated Arweave, I can tell you, I think that there were at least 100 new users that weren't trying anything else on Fileverse. They were just obsessed with, okay, I want a super easy way of buying 200 years of storage and putting my file up there. And the really interesting part is we wanted to combine that with tech that already exists and that at least I hadn't seen yet the connection being made, which is what? Which is safe multisigs today, secure, I think last time I checked, $100 billion. It's an amazing piece of technology that allows a subreddit to come together, a bunch of anons globally that don't know each other, and manage assets together. We wanted to extend that to talk about a new type of asset, which was just files, websites, a digital garden, anything like that. So we made sure that people could actually use a multisig in order to access permanent storage. And this was really something that I think was a big de-click for a lot of the users.
I think for the reaching the community member outside our ecosystem, here are some points that we are doing right now. So for venture perspective, I know Arweave is a small community and we all stay here. And personally, I'm trying to reach out the product team that's building out at Arweave. AI is a hype. Currently, I'm checking the data labeling project in the space and trying to persuade them to upload their data set to Arweave in future, and plus our potential investment then. Discussing with certain deals in this space and trying to persuade them to upload their pictures to the Arweave storage. So besides AI, I think Asia, the Bitcoin system is extremely high these days. And we're talking with one of the promising Bitcoin Layer 2 network. The Bitcoin Layer 2 is the modularity. They're working on the data availability side, and also they will upload. They will also partner with, it's something working for that. They are partnered with Arweave at the permanent storage node. And also beside that, I know there are many teams that are trying to upload their data storage on Arweave. They have privacy concern. We are talking with several teams that is working on the KOFHE, they are privacy-related firms, and we're discussing to add in the privacy layer for the data storage. So we are expert on data storage, but we're not expert on the privacy. So we have this kind of partnership to, if this issue is solved by the KOFHE teams, I think there will be more and more teams that are willing to upload their data on the decentralized storage instead of decentralized storage. Yeah. And also, personally, I'm quite curious about the deep side and also curious about the fully on-chain game side. But until now, I don't find the right target, right solution on this area. So I need some time to explore. Besides the venture side, definitely we have our own product like PermaDAO. No, we have our own product like PermaSwap. We position ourselves at the Uniswap built on Arweave, and we support all the Arweave ecosystem tokens. And also, we think we'll be the first one to support AO tokens in future. So I think this is a good incentive for all the traders that have interest to the Arweave community. And also, we have EverID. It's already in beta version. So we can assume that we are the DID product on our ecosystem. So in future, the user only need to use their email. They don't need to remember the safe phrase to have a AR account, and you can do swapping and do trading and payment in our ecosystem. I think this is something that we explore the Arweave community to the ecosystem outside Arweave.
What's funny is that casinos actually have a utility too. But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, no, it's cool. Arweave essentially is just like you can store things forever. I think everyone here knows that. And that is an amazing thing because like data is like the foundation to everything. And that's why I came over to Arweave personally, myself as a creator, just because just the fact of in other ecosystems, it's just a token. Say if it's a picture, it's just a token pointing to a picture rather than the picture wrapped in with the actual transaction. So that always, to me, just didn't make sense. It's like, why is a token pointing to a picture? They can just rug the picture, swap it out. It just didn't make no sense to me. With that in mind, yeah, utility. There's lots of utility and not a lot of casino, which I think is a good thing because the casino leads to a lot of complications.
Degeneracy.
Right?
Yeah. As we get ready to wrap this up, community feedback is a big part of being a community manager. Blockchains are cold, hard places where numbers dictate everything. The human face on that really brings everything together a little bit with X, Discord, Warpcast, all these burgeoning platforms where feedback comes in. How are you guys taking in that feedback and then releasing it back out to your community, taking that feedback and giving it back out?
Yeah.
Since you mentioned Warpcast, I'll go a bit on a tangent on that, but on your question, can I ask real quick, who has a Farcaster account, Farcaster ID? All right, a good 70%, 75% of the crowd. Okay, crypto native distribution channels are your place to get feedback from the people you actually want. When you have a grand vision, when you're building something that is complex but is very useful for the world, it's surprisingly rare to find someone that actually understands what you're building or even considers it important or useful. So you need to go where people actually are and understand the type of stack you're even building with or the type of mission and values that you have. Farcaster is now this big channel for distribution and feedback for all types of apps, protocols, etc. So at Fileverse, we were some of the first frames builders. I think our first frame was top of the chart for 2 weeks straight. And what was it? It was super basic. We put Paul Dylan Davis, I think, he's Irish academic, who wrote a book called The Absolute Essentials of Ethereum. It's a tiny book. It's really nice. It came out a month ago. The guy writes with Vitalik quite often. And in collaboration with him, we put his book on Arweave. And then we created a frame on Farcaster that allowed people to actually flip through the book. As they flipped, each page was a different page stored on Arweave. As they flipped, the seconds they would spend on the frame would generate a heartbeat with B-I-T instead of B-E-A-T. And now the author has provable on-chain metrics of how much people engage with their book. And all that is by taking advantage of a composable social stack that is now very freshly available with native distribution channels. That's your best place to actually get feedback from the people that matter, meaning people that actually understand what you're building at the beginning. Yeah.
You mentioned the Farcaster. It's quite interesting because previously I also approached Farcast team on their storage side, but unfortunately Farcast they have their own Farcast hub, so they store the data there. So personally, I also contact the Lens product team. I think both Favor and Orb, they store their data on Arweave. Personally, I prefer the Lens protocol social apps. instead of the it's other protocols. Yeah, Far doing quite well, but because the lens they upload data on Arweave, so I prefer them. Beyond the general Discord, Telegram communication channels, I think for the Chinese community, WeChat is a special community communication tools in Chinese community. I think Outpro they set the many WeChat conversation groups. Some of them are simply for permaDAO, and some are more hardcore. So they are more on the tech development discussion side. Yeah, and I'm involved in his community, I think back in 2021. So previously I was working for other Kubernetes and checking storage. I approached Oprog and he invited me to this kind of community. So I started to look at Arweave and to follow the news in our ecosystem because of the WeChat group. Yeah. And also, I think definitely there are copycat in China market on like Twitter, but the Chinese user never use to discuss crypto-related topics. We definitely use Twitter and we call it X. And I think after, and we hosted the Twitter space regularly, and after AO announcement, I think we are extremely busy these days, and we hold many Chinese community-based their space these days. And I think the feedback is doing quite well, because every time we post anything AO related, or anytime we have any AO related discussion on Twitter space, the audience, the user, the viewer, data is much higher compared with normal data.
Yeah, I think with community, you actually have to go out there and talk to people. On Twitter, be active. Just like literally just talk to people and find out what they're doing. I think the best way to like approach community feedback is like taking that and as well as data and being able to reference both and gives you two different kind of points to pull from. I think where you start is talking to them. When they say something, it doesn't necessarily mean what they say. So if they say, that thing is too big, the logo's too big, maybe that's not what they meant. Maybe they meant like one part was too big, or maybe because of the color, like contrast or whatever, is too much. So it's about being able to like filter and understand what they're saying, like fully, and like really empathizing with the person, and being able to take that, but like with a lot of different people, and be able to filter that into the solution, I think.
One last thing. Since there are a lot of people on Arweave, there's the Arweave channel on Farcaster. I don't even know who launched it.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, well done. Okay, that's the beauty of having a big community. You don't even know who actually launched it. If you go on the Farcaster channel right now, there is a frame that allows you to give feedback directly to the speakers. Nice. You can click on one of the speakers and you generate a heartbeat to actually show a little bit of on-chain love for the various speakers.
Amazing. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Andres. This has been wonderful. You are all part of the community here. Shout out to the Woods Boss crew for just hosting us. Tip your bartenders. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, PDS. Thank you, Forward. Thank you, everybody. All right.
Thank you.
Good stuff, Jacob.